Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Leap English Podcast, where learners become speakers. I'm Lily, and wow, we have such a packed episode today.
Hey, Lily. Hey, everyone. I'm Jake, and I am so excited about today because we're covering three incredibly important topics.
3 topics in one episode?
3 topics, but they're all connected. Trust me, it'll make sense.
Okay, I'm ready. But first, how are you, Jake?
I'm great. Actually, I've been thinking about yesterday's episode.
The grammar one?
Yes, we talked about learning grammar naturally through reading and shadowing, and the response was amazing. So many people messaged saying, "This took so much pressure off me."
I saw those messages. People were so relieved.
Right? But you know what? After that episode, I got 3 really specific questions from listeners.
What were they?
First question. Jake, I'm reading and shadowing like you said, but I still don't understand when people speak. How do I improve my listening? Second question. I understand American English, but when I hear British or Australian English, I'm lost. How do I understand different accents? And third question. I know a lot of words, but I can't speak fluently. I keep pausing and hesitating. How do I become fluent?
Those are such good questions.
They're the questions I had too when I was in London. And actually, I have really specific stories about each one.
Ooh, multiple stories today.
Multiple stories, and they're all from my time working at the café. These were real, embarrassing learning moments.
Embarrassing stories are the best learning stories.
So true. Okay, so today we're covering 3 things. First, how to improve listening skills, what materials to use, and how to practice effectively. Second, how to understand different accents, because this is a huge challenge for learners. And third, how to speak fluently without long pauses.
That's a complete speaking package.
It really is. And by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to train your ears and your mouth for confident English communication.
Perfect. Let's jump in. Okay, Jake. Let's start with listening. You said a listener asked about improving listening skills.
Yes, and honestly, this was a big problem for me too. I could read English pretty well, I could understand grammar, but when people spoke, half the time I was lost.
That's so frustrating.
So frustrating. So one day in class, another student asked my teacher, "What's the best method to improve listening skills?"
And what did she say?
She said, "Great question. Listening is absolutely essential for communication. If you don't understand what people say, you can't have conversations. So let me teach you how to practice listening effectively."
Okay, I'm listening.
Good. So she explained there are 2 types of audio materials. Type 1, audio recordings. Type 2, films and videos.
Oh, so different types need different approaches.
Exactly. For audio recordings like podcasts, audiobooks, audio stories, she gave us a specific rule. You should understand 95% of the words or more.
95%? That's pretty high.
It is. She said, when you practice listening, your goal is to get information from spoken language. You're not trying to learn new vocabulary. That's a different activity.
Oh, so listening practice and vocabulary learning are separate?
Separate goals. If the audio has too many new words, you'll spend all your time being confused instead of practicing listening comprehension.
That makes sense. So what should you do if there are too many new words?
She said, if possible, read the text first, look up all the new words in a dictionary, then listen to the audio. That way, you're focusing on understanding spoken English, not vocabulary.
Smart. So what audio materials did she recommend?
Simplified English books with audio recordings. She was so enthusiastic about these. She said these are fantastic because you can choose a book at your exact level.
Oh, like graded readers?
Exactly. She specifically mentioned some titles like White Death and Mystery Girl, books written in simple English with clear audio recordings.
So you read the book first, then listen?
Yes, read it first so you know the story and vocabulary. Then listen at home, on the bus, while traveling. You're training your ears to understand spoken English.
Okay, that's audio. What about films and videos?
Ah, films are the second type. She said films and YouTube videos are excellent, but you should have at least 2,000 words in your vocabulary before using them seriously.
Why 2,000 words?
Because films use more complex language, faster speech, different accents. If your vocabulary is too small, you'll be overwhelmed.
Makes sense. So how do you practice with films?
Here's the method. First time, watch with subtitles so you understand the story completely.
Okay, get the full story first.
Then, watch again without subtitles. Now you're practicing pure listening. You already know the story, so you're not lost. You're just training your ears.
Oh, that's clever. You're reducing the difficulty.
Exactly. And she said, if you really love a film, watch it multiple times. Each time, you'll understand more details.
So repetition is key?
Repetition is everything. She also recommended watching documentaries about topics you love. Like if you enjoy nature, watch nature documentaries. If you like cooking, watch cooking shows.
Because you're already interested in the topic?
Yes, interest keeps you engaged. And she said reality shows are especially good for learners because the structure is usually the same every episode. Very predictable, easy to follow.
Oh, that's a great tip.
And here's the important rule: 30 minutes of listening every day.
Every day?
Every day. She said it's necessary. Just like reading daily, listening daily trains your ears consistently.
Okay, so 30 minutes minimum. But Jake, what if I don't understand much at first?
Oh, this is important. She said, always look at what you already understand. Maybe it's only 10% at first. That's better than 0%. Keep listening, and soon it'll be 20%, then 30%.
Okay, so you're improving your listening with audio and films. But then what happened?
Oh man, then I had one of the most embarrassing moments of my life.
Ooh, tell me.
So this was Tuesday. I was working my shift at the café. Normal day, serving customers, feeling pretty confident about my English.
Okay.
And then this couple walks in, a husband and wife. The man comes to the counter and starts speaking to me in English.
And
And I understood nothing.
nothing?
Nothing. Lily, it was like he was speaking a completely different language. I could hear English sounds, but I couldn't understand a single word.
Oh no. What did you do?
I panicked. I thought maybe he was asking for something we didn't have. So I called my boss over, completely embarrassed.
And your boss understood him?
She understood him perfectly. She smiled, chatted with him casually, and sold them 2 coffees and 2 sandwiches.
So he was just ordering normally?
Just ordering normally, and I felt so stupid. After they left, I apologized to my boss. I said, "I'm so sorry I didn't understand him. Maybe my English isn't good enough for this job."
Oh, poor Jake.
I know, but my boss was amazing. She said, "Jake, it's okay. This happens when people speak with an accent you're not familiar with." That couple was from Scotland.
Scotland? So it was the Scottish accent.
The Scottish accent, and I had never heard it before.
I'd only heard London English.
So what did you do?
The next day, I'd told my teacher this whole story. I explained how stupid I felt, how worried I was about my job.
What did she say?
She was so reassuring. She said, "Jake, you understand London English because that's what you've been hearing, but your ears aren't trained for the Scottish accent yet. This is completely normal."
Oh, so it's not about your English level, it's about ear training?
Exactly. She said, when you already speak English at some level and you hear a different accent for the first time, it's normal not to understand. It usually takes about 2 weeks of exposure to adjust to a new accent.
2 weeks? That's not long.
Right? She said, don't think something is wrong with you. Your ears just need practice with this accent.
That's so reassuring. So how do you practice?
She recommended watching films or TV shows with Scottish English. She said, find a Scottish sitcom or documentary. Watch it regularly. Soon, you'll understand.
So exposure to that specific accent.
Exposure to that specific accent. And Lily, here's what's interesting. The exact same thing happens with American English, Australian English, Irish English, any accent you haven't heard before.
So you need to train your ears to each one?
You need exposure to each one. But the good news is, once you understand 2 or 3 different accents, your brain gets better at adapting to new accents.
Oh, so it gets easier over time?
It gets easier. Your brain learns to recognize English patterns even through different accents.
Did you actually watch Scottish shows?
I did. I found a Scottish comedy series on YouTube and watched it every night for a week. And you know what? The next time Scottish customers came to the café, I understood them.
Really?
Really? Not perfectly, but I understood the main points. I could take their order without calling my boss.
That's amazing progress.
Actually, something else interesting happened at the cafe that same week.
What?
So, around 4 o'clock one afternoon, 2 foreign ladies came in. They wanted to order coffee, but their English was very basic.
Okay.
My boss was serving them, and I watched her do something brilliant. She completely changed how she spoke.
Changed how?
She started using super simple sentences, like 3 or 4 words only. What coffee? Sugar? Milk? Sit here?
Oh, she simplified her English?
Dramatically. And I could see the ladies understood her perfectly. They were smiling, nodding, able to order everything they wanted. They bought 2 coffees, 2 sandwiches, and 2 cakes.
So simple English worked better than complex English.
Way better. After they left, I told my boss, that was really impressive how you adjusted your English. And she said something I'll never forget.
What did she say?
She said, sometimes I have to speak very simple English. It doesn't matter if customers speak English well or not. They're our customers, and we have to do everything possible for them. If they see they can communicate here, they'll come back every day.
Wow, that's good business strategy.
She was a smart businesswoman, but it also taught me something important about English learning.
What's that?
You don't need complex English to communicate effectively. Simple English with clear pronunciation works perfectly.
So don't stress about using big words?
Don't stress. Communication is the goal, not impressing people with vocabulary.
Okay, Jake. So we've covered listening and accents. But what about fluency? You mentioned that was the third question.
Yes, and I have the perfect story for this one too.
Another story?
I know, I have so many. Okay, so there was a school party on Friday night. Remember Monica from previous episodes?
The Italian girl who learned English at home?
Yes, she was there,
And so were these two Brazilian guys from my football team.
Okay.
Now, these Brazilian guys had very basic English. They knew maybe 1,000 words, could only speak in short sentences. But Lily,
What?
they were the life of the party.
Really?
Yes, they were making jokes, telling stories, dancing, chatting with everyone. Their sentences were super short, like England, cold, football, good, girls, beautiful. But they were speaking fluently.
Wait, fluently with only basic English?
That's what shocked me. And the next Monday, I mentioned this to my teacher. I said, it was so interesting. These guys don't know many words, but they speak fluently. Meanwhile, some students with way more vocabulary can barely get a sentence out.
What did your teacher say?
She said, the Brazilian boys showed you the right way. They used what they knew. They cared only about communication, not perfection.
So they weren't afraid to speak.
Zero fear. And that made them fluent, even with limited vocabulary.
Interesting. But what is fluency exactly?
Great question, because another student asked exactly that. She said, okay, but how do we become fluent? By going to parties and making jokes?
Fair question.
Right? And our teacher gave us a definition of fluency that changed everything.
Tell me.
She said, many students think fluency means speaking fast with lots of words and perfect grammar. But that's wrong. Fluency is speaking without long pauses.
Without long pauses?
Without long pauses, she said some people can do it with 1,000 words, some need 2,000 words. But there are also people who know 3,000 words and still can't speak fluently.
So it's not about vocabulary size?
It's about practice. She said speaking is a physical activity, like playing a musical instrument.
Physical?
Yes. She explained, when you play violin, you train the connection between your brain and your finger muscles. When you speak, you train the connection between your brain and your mouth muscles.
Oh, so it's muscle memory again.
Muscle memory. And without practice, that connection is slow. Your brain knows the words, but your mouth can't access them quickly.
That's why people think of the right words after the conversation ends.
Exactly. She described that exact scenario. You're talking to someone, you can't find the words, the conversation ends, then later you think, oh, I did know those words, but it's too late.
That's so frustrating.
So frustrating. And she said that happens because your speaking isn't automatic yet. You don't practice enough.
So how much practice do you need?
She recommended 30 minutes of speaking every day.
30 minutes? But what if you don't have anyone to talk to?
Thinking aloud. Remember from our first episode?
Oh, yes. Talk to yourself in English.
Talk to yourself. And she emphasized you have to actually speak out loud, not just think in your head. You need to train that brain-to-mouth connection physically.
So even if you're alone, speak out loud?
Speak out loud. It feels weird at first, but it works.
Did you do this?
Every single day. Walking to work, I'd narrate what I saw. I'm walking to work. The weather is nice. I see a dog. That dog is cute. Just constant speaking practice.
And it improved your fluency?
Dramatically. Within a month, I could speak without those awkward pauses. Words came more easily. And that's when I truly felt fluent.
Okay, Jake, let me see if I can connect all three topics.
Go for it.
So, to improve listening, I need 30 minutes of daily practice with materials at my level, 95% comprehension for audio, and I can use films if I have 2,000 plus words. Watch with subtitles first, then without.
Perfect.
To understand different accents, I shouldn't panic when I hear a new accent. It's normal. I just need exposure to that accent for about 2 weeks, and my ears will adjust.
Exactly.
And to speak fluently, I need 30 minutes of speaking practice daily. Fluency isn't about vocabulary size or speed, it's about speaking without long pauses. I train this through real conversations or thinking aloud.
You got it.
So basically, 30 minutes listening, exposure to different accents, and 30 minutes speaking. That's the formula?
That's the formula. And here's what's beautiful. These three skills support each other.
How?
When you improve listening, you hear more accent variations. When you hear different accents, your speaking improves because you're mimicking different patterns. And when you practice speaking, your listening comprehension improves because you understand the effort it takes to produce those sounds.
Oh, they're all connected.
All connected. It's like a triangle. Each skill strengthens the others.
All right, everyone, quick recap time.
Let's break it down.
First, for listening practice, use materials where you understand 95% of words. Simplified English audiobooks are perfect. For films, watch with subtitles first, then without. Practice 30 minutes daily and focus on what you do understand, not what you don't.
Second, for different accents, don't panic. It's completely normal not to understand a new accent at first. Expose yourself to that accent through films or shows for about 2 weeks. Your ears will adapt naturally.
Third, for fluency, remember that fluency means speaking without long pauses, not speaking fast with perfect grammar. It's a physical skill that requires practice. Speak for 30 minutes daily with real people or through thinking aloud. Train that brain-to-mouth connection.
And remember the Brazilian football players. They showed that you can be fluent with basic English if you focus on communication, not perfection.
Perfect summary. Wow, Jake, what an episode. We covered so much today.
3 big topics: listening, accents, and fluency. The complete communication package.
I love how all your café stories illustrated these lessons perfectly.
Real life learning, the best kind.
Okay, everyone, we really hope this episode gave you a clear roadmap for improving your listening, understanding different accents, and speaking more fluently.
These are skills you can start practicing today, right after this episode.
Now, we want to hear from you. Go to the comments and tell us, which skill do you struggle with most? Listening, understanding different accents, speaking fluently, or something else?
Share your biggest challenge. We read every comment, and your questions help us create better episodes.
And if this episode helped you understand how to improve these 3 critical skills,
Which we really hope it did.
please hit that subscribe button. We share practical English learning strategies every single week.
Every week, new techniques, new stories, new confidence builders.
And share this episode with a friend who's learning English. Maybe they're struggling with listening comprehension or feeling embarrassed about not understanding different accents. This could really help them.
Absolutely. And don't forget, 30 minutes of listening daily, exposure to different accents, and 30 minutes of speaking practice. That's your formula.
Okay, one last thing before we go.
What's that?
To everyone listening, remember Jake's Scottish accent disaster? Even when you feel embarrassed, even when you don't understand, that's all part of the learning process. Don't give up.
Beautifully said. Every mistake is a step forward. Keep listening, keep practicing, keep speaking.
Your English will improve.
It absolutely will.
All right, that's all for this week.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
We had such a great time.
Now go practice your listening and speaking.
I'm Lily.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Leap English Podcast, where learners become speakers.
See you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.